And so, by way of introduction, I'll read just a few paragraphs here. In 1939, Edgar Varese, the composer who first articulated a grand vision of how machines would change the way humans made music, announced that sound-producing machines promised nothing less than the, quote, liberation of music. And Varese said, if you are curious to know what such a machine could do that the orchestra with its man-powered instruments cannot do, I shall try briefly to tell you. Whatever I write, whatever my message, it will reach the listener unadulterated by interpretation. Close quote. From late modernists like Karlheinz Stockhausen, down through rock experimentalists like Frank Zappa, and now to the thousands of DJs who pump electronic sound through dance clubs, the idea that electronic music would give composers more control while freeing them from relying on human relationships to realize their musical ideas has been the dominant thrust in electronic music. The notion of the machine as a perfect interpreter of musical ideas, in contrast to the necessarily flawed interpreter that is human, has gone unchallenged. My work has gone in a substantially different direction. My experience of using technology to make music was never one of machines as ideal musicians over whom I exercised perfect and exquisite control. I didn't see that as a problem, however, as the unpredictable and unruly behavior of the machines I worked with quickly became my muse. However, as the years have gone by, the meaning I attach to this unstable, intense relationship between human and machine has evolved substantially. So, so maybe what I'll do is talk a little bit about that evolution and how my understanding of the relationship between humans and their technology has changed. So, when I started out as a student in the 1970s, in fact, when I was a student in the 1970s, my teacher, Derry John Mizell, suggested that instead of using technology to make new sounds, I should try to use technology to create new relationships between musicians. Our ears, he argued, are fast learners. The first time we hear a sound we have never heard before, we perceive the sound as new. And in the 1970s, the sound of electronically synthesized music was indeed new in this sense for many people.